Hey, my Vibe Tribe. Much love. It's what I'm going to do on this TikTok live is I'm going to read some inspirational quotes that helps us to improve our lives by some very wise people. And these quotes are very uplifting and very insightful. We can gain much wisdom by the quotes here that I'm going to read. They are some of my favorite people and some of my favorite quotes. And so I hope you enjoy this TikTok live. And so the first one I would like to start off with is by someone who I think everyone has heard of or knows, and that's Albert Einstein. And so Albert Einstein's, one of his famous quotes, he said, was there are only two ways to live your life. One, as though nothing is a miracle. The other is that everything is a miracle. So isn't that a wonderful thing? Think about that. You have a choice. You can look at it as that everything is a miracle, or is it nothing is a miracle? And so such wise wisdom of words from such a wise person. And such a great quote. I really love this book, and I really enjoy sharing the words of wisdom with you from this book. I hope you enjoy this. And so I'm just going to flip through and continue on. This is a really great one. It helps you to gain perspective on the other really famous quote, is that age is just a number. And this famous quote here is by Billy Burks. And this quote is actually on the front of this book. It's what caught my eye when I purchased the book, is that age doesn't matter unless you're a cheese. I love that. That's so great. Age doesn't matter unless you're a cheese. And I do apologize ahead of time if my alarm system goes off. I have a very delicate alarm system here where I live, and it is my doggos. And so they bark at everything, noises, smells, whatever goes on. You will hear them in the background, so there's a very good possibility that you will hear them along with me. And I will go back and check the audio. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm trying to speak up very loud and very clearly so you can hear these wonderful quotes. Let me see, I had some of them even marked out. Some of the greatest ones. Here is one. And see, I had it marked ahead of time. So this quote is by, I might say it wrong, so I will spell it, Wanapun, W-A-N-A-P-U-N, Native American, Prophet, Somalia, S-M-O-H-A-L-L-A. And I hope you can hear me okay. Each one must learn for himself the highest wisdom. It cannot be taught in words. Men who work cannot dream, and wisdom comes to us in dreams. Isn't that great? Wisdom comes to us in dreams. So always remember that dream, tribe, to dream. And don't let anyone deter you from your dreams. Because our dreams keep us alive. It's part of our imagination. And it's part of developing your mind and your intuition, your inner self. That self-care, self-awareness, and keeping an open mind. Because anything is possible. Always remember that. It's all up to us to create the realm, the world, the reality that we choose. Don't let it be up to others. So don't let anyone discourage you. Had some really great ones. Here's another great one. This is from comedian Lucille Ball. And I don't know who all is heard of Lucille Ball, but Lucy and Ricky are a great couple from back in the black and white days, the TV days. They are some of the original first stars. And so Lucille Ball, she had such a great personality and a great outlook on life. She was always joking around and happy and smiling and cheerful, and so she spread that glow around. She really enjoyed making you laugh, and so such a joy to watch some of her earlier entertainment. If you ever have the opportunity to do so, I highly recommend watching some of Lucille Ball's creations. And she says, the secret of staying young is to live honestly, eat slowly, and lie about your age. That's a great one. So eating slowly. When we eat slowly and we chew our food slowly, it gives the saliva in our mouth the opportunity to begin to digest the food, and that is the proper way to eat. So when you savor your food, you eat slowly and you let it disintegrate slowly in your mouth as you chew it before you swallow it. And so eating slowly is such an awesome tip. So again, on these famous quotes, so much wisdom we can gain from the words of other people who have led the way. And we can gain so much insight and knowledge and wisdom by the ways that they have lived their life. And this one here is great. I hear the rain just pouring outside, so I hope we don't lose signal, but there is a possibility that we may. I've actually had issues throughout the day with signal. And so she says here to lie about your age. So that is another great one. I will give you a tip and a clue. My age is 27, and it's 27 forever. I stopped many years ago, and so if you ask me my age, anyone knows I'm 27, and will be 27 forever. That's my number, and I'm sticking to it. So moving on, let's see here. We have so many great quotes that I want to share with you throughout the book. And we won't get to them all on this one here. I'll do another little thing here too. But like I say, I'll have more of them marked out in next time I start to read and look through this. This is a great one. This is such great advice, as well as a quote. And this here quote is by Herbert Bayard Swope, S-W-O-P-E. And this quote says, "I cannot give you the formula for success, but I can give you the formula for failure, which is to try to please everybody." Now, tribe, I can tell you from experience myself, that quote cannot be more true. And it means that I have a large family, and I've tried my best to please everyone. No matter what you do or how hard you try, it will end in failure. You cannot please everyone. You can't please everybody, but you can please yourself. And that is part of self-care and self-awareness, and to realize that in those wise words, if you listen to them, reverse them. Because it's not about everybody. Because everybody has to please their self. And that's just how it is. That's how it works. And that's where that happiness and that acceptance comes to being. Because if you do so, you will spend your life running around literally like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to please everyone. And at the end of the day, you've not taken care of yourself. You've not tried to please yourself. And so it ends in failure. If you reverse the tables, you please yourself, then you please everyone else. Because you're happy, you're joyful, you're in a good state of mind, and you're not in everyone else's lane. That goes back to mind your own business. Stay in your own lane. Worry about your own. And don't be in everyone else's, because when you are, that's how you get into a wreck. That's how accidents happen. So much wisdom in those few short words from such a very wise person. A little more food for thought there. Sorry about the reading. It's taken me a moment. I had some picked out, but I lost my little things. They fell out. I only found one. My apologies. I'll be more prepared next time. I'll have some little sticky notes there put to the side. I hope you're enjoying this. I know it's a little slow moving, but the slow moving, it's progressing into so much wisdom from some very great people here. And I will learn the whole system here. I'm just starting out, so I don't know how the interaction works and the posting and the live, but I will get better at it. Just be patient. We will get there. It's a learning process, and I have to do some more research on the buttons and how all of this here works with the sharing and the interacting. Here's a really great one. I don't know if I had marked it or not, but it is from Arthur Rubinstein, and he is a musician. And his famous quote here that has been captured in this book is that he says, "I live by one principle: enjoy life with no conditions." People say, if I had your health or if I had your money, oh, I would enjoy myself. That is not true. I would be happy if I were lying sick in a hospital bed. It must come from inside. That is the one thing I hope so have contributed to my children by example and by talk, to make no conditions, to understand that life is a wonderful thing, and so to enjoy it every day to the full. And so to explain that quote a little better and the conditions, so that is the true meaning of unconditional love. People put the stigmatism on unconditional love as to from person to person. In other words, I can love you under any condition. You can treat me so badly and I will love you under that condition. A mother's love, you can be treated, da-da-da. That is not what the true meaning of unconditional love is. Unconditional love means just what this musician's quote here has stated. Unconditional love means you can love under any condition. Whether you are lying in a hospital bed sick, you still have the capacity to love, to appreciate life, to appreciate the breath in your lungs, and still be a happy, good person. Again, it comes from within. It comes from inside of you. And so that's where this here quote comes from. And these are things that are not taught in school, like the meaning of unconditional love. We are led to believe it is meant one thing, but in reality, it is really not meant that way at all. It's more of within ourself, that to be happy and to love no matter what. Even if we're sitting on the side of the road with a flat tire, or our car is broke down, or some bad thing has happened. Yes, we all have emotions and we are affected, but for the most part, unconditional love. Love under any condition. And so that's such a great, great quote and great wisdom and advice. Such a great perspective to have on life in general. I really enjoyed that one as well. Yet another great one. And this here is by Agatha Christie. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Agatha Christie, but she is a famous author. And so she is responsible for many creations. She has authored many books. And so this is such great inspirational words she has to offer here. And she says, I learned that one can never go back, that one should never ever try to go back, that the essence of life is to go forward. Life really is a one-way street. And so I offer that advice as well. Tribe, you should never go backwards unless these memories are good things to look back to, or they were informational, inspirational, wisdom, those types of memories. Because generally, if you focus on the past and things that's happened in the past, we tend to look at the negative, and it can pull us backwards and down. So such great words of wisdom to keep moving forward. That's all we have is the here and now, this present moment, and forward. Going backwards serves no purpose. So you should always take steps forward, because if you don't, it drags you down. Such great words of wisdom. I really enjoy the inspiration. I'm sorry, that one made me laugh. So I have to share it now. Just because it made me laugh like that. It's so funny. Okay, this one. This is from, oh my goodness. Well, I'm just going to read it. It says, this quote is from a stripper, and this quote is from Gypsy Rose Lee. I can't say I've ever heard of them, as someone may have. So this quote here says that I have everything now that I had 20 years ago. Except now, it's lower. I have no comment on that one. I can think of one, but I'm just going to keep that one to myself. So, moving on. Moving on. So great. That still strikes me so funny. Here's a great one as well. Just a few words, but great words. And this one here is from Victoria Holt, and she is a writer. And she says, never regret. If it's good, it's wonderful. If it's bad, it's experience. I can definitely attest to that. And so you gotta always take the good with the bad. And so always remember that. If it's good, it's wonderful. But if it's bad, it's an experience. So chalk it up as an experience and move on. Just keep moving forward. I really love this one. I also can relate to this one greatly. It is what I try to teach everyone when I talk to them, either with my videos or in person. And it's just like anything we do in life, the more we do it, the better you become at it, the more experience you gain. And so with knowledge and experience, you gain wisdom and you gain skill and you perfect that skill, and that is in everything in life. That's everything you do. So keep that in mind. And this here quote is a wonderful one, and this here is by Saul Bellow, and the writer of this says, in the greatest confusion, there is still an open channel to the soul. It may be difficult to find. By the midlight, it's overgrown, and some of the wildest thickness that surrounds it grows out of what we describe as our education. But the channel is always there, and it is out of business to keep it open, to have access to the deepest part of ourselves. And so always keep that channel open. And I can also relate to this quote as well, because as a child growing up, I was always taught not to channel that inner tuition, that inner instinct, that it was bad, it was demonistic, it was against the Bible, it was just so many different things in my education that clouded that connection. And so to break loose from that and all of those lies and misconceptions that we've been taught is so untrue, because this connection we have is from our Creator, from the universe, from the energies that we are from. And connecting with those is natural. It's an instinct, just like the animals. The animals and the insects use their instinctual, intuitive to live their lives every day. So it comes natural to them. And so that would be, in other words, telling them that that's wrong as well. Are you going to tell the birds it's wrong to go by their instinct and fly and use the devices that they were created with? No, it's their instinct. And so just because we have not used our instincts and developed them does not mean they're not there, and it does not mean that they're wrong, because they are not a wrong thing. Channeling is completely normal as well. And when you channel, it's channeling into an energy. So your phone, a television screen, a movie screen, a radio wave through music is also channeling, because you are channeling energy. You are toning and honing your energy and focus on that, and you are streaming it. And it's the same way when you talk to a person. When you set to talk to a person one-on-one, you're connecting with them as well. You're connecting to their energy, to their, so to speak, Wi-Fi signal, because you're within a radius of them. So you're channeling that person's energy as well. And so it's completely normal. And again, to each his own, their opinions and their thoughts and their feelings. But I can relate to this by the education and his terminology, his description of the weeds overgrowing. And you have to chop those weeds out of the way. Get those old thoughts, those old beliefs, those old patterns, teaching, education, and keep that open line of communication with yourself, because again, you can't run around living your life for everyone else, trying to please everyone else. And so same thought, it's on the same pattern there, to live your life and be happy. It's key. Oh, this is a great one as well. This is from statesman Jimmy Carter. And Jimmy Carter was actually one of our presidents back in, well, this, I don't know when this book was actually created. But he says to go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is. Great advice. So if you don't take a risk and take that step into the unknown, you will never know. And so such great advice to, again, live your life. Have a little spontaneity and just go experience some things in life. Go out on a limb and go get that fruit. And one other little quick thought before I turn the page on that one. Another little food for thought. If you don't go out on that limb and get that fruit, one day you might be too old to try. So think about that. Then you've missed out on that opportunity. So you've lived your life and experienced it in a closed-in manner, because you never went out on that limb and you never gave it a try. And then who knows, one day it might be too late. Physically, you may not be able to go out on that limb. Little food for thought. So while you still can, give it a shot. Why not? Oh, these are great words as well. This one here is by politician Sam Rayburn. And Sam Rayburn, well, he's a politician. So anyways, we won't get into all that. And anyways, he says, don't try to go too fast. Learn your job. Don't ever talk until you know what you're talking about. If you want to get along, go along. Great words of wisdom right there. I've also lived my life by that advice. I don't ever like to speak on anything unless I know what I'm talking about. And so you won't catch me trying to get into a conversation that I know nothing about, because I have no interest. I am just not going to go there. So great words of wisdom. Unless you know what you're talking about, don't open your mouth. And if you want to get along, go along. Again, go with the flow. Be open. Be flowing in love and good vibrations, and you get along just fine, because it's a boomerang effect. When you put out love, you receive love. And I know it might not seem like that all the time, and some days, every day is different. But I can promise you, for the most part, it always does work out to your favor, because the more love that you exude and emit, the more of it comes back to you. And so you create those feelings and those waves of love with everyone around you, and it starts to flow back in a boomerang type effect, because we are a magnet, and so we draw to us what we're putting out. Here's another great one to go along with the other miracle, and this is from Eve Arden. She is an actress, and so she says, life is full of miracles, but they're not always the ones we pray for. And that goes along with Albert Einstein's quote. So it is, life is full of miracles, or none, depending on how you look at it. I choose to look at it on the first side, that life is a miracle and life is full of miracles, and it emits outwards and back again inwards. So below, so above, so below, so within, so without. So again, same thing, inward and outward. Here's a little great one too, because if you think about it, it's also, you think on terms. So you think on positive terms. And so here is a great one. It says, in this quote here is by W. Somerset Maugham. And the writer of this quote says, "It is a funny thing about life. If you refuse to accept anything but the best, you often get it." So that goes back to keeping our mind in a positive state, thinking on terms of the best, and when you expect the best, you get the best. And so when you expect to receive the very best, that's what you get. And it doesn't matter where you go, what walk of life it might be, whether it might be walking into a restaurant to sit down to get food. If you expect the best, you will get the best. And you will get the best service, and you will get the best food, you will get the best atmosphere, you will get the best company. And so it's all what you expect to get, because again, we create our reality. And so when you're in that vibrational realm and you're on that frequency level and you are constantly expecting, anticipating the best to come, then the best always does come. And so that's how, again, you go back to creating that reality. And no matter what your circumstance or condition might be, laying in a hospital bed, you expect the best treatment, you expect the best care, you expect the best doctors, you expect the best nurses, and you expect the best outcome, then that's what you're going to get. You receive the best outcome because it's what you expect. Same way when you expect to see a yellow car. You know what? Everywhere you look, there's a yellow car because you're expecting to see it. So think on those terms, my tribe. Great words to live your life by. I'm going to find one more here to share with y'all, and then I have to get it wrapped up. I still have to go check on my little doggos yet. And I noticed they were barking out there. Might have some company, I don't know. I hope you're enjoying this, though. I am. I really enjoy this book, and I enjoy these words of wisdom. They're so great. I also had my book, some words that I had wrote down. I might share with them, with you as well. We'll see. This is a funny one. I have to read it. And this is from Bertrand Russell. And this quote says, "The whiter my hair becomes, the more ready people are to believe what I say." I don't know what I would say about that one. That's kind of sad. But understandable, because with age comes wisdom. And with the whiteness and grayness of your hair, then you have the years of wisdom to show. This is a great one as well, and this is by actress Ethel Barrymore, and she says, "You must learn day by day, year by year, to broaden your horizon. The more things you love, the more you are interested in, the more you enjoy, and the more you are indignant about, the more you have left when anything happens." So that's so interesting how she quotes that, and she says, the more things you love. So that goes back to the unconditional love and to love under any condition. And so when you're in this state of mind to love all the time, it just comes naturally to you. You just don't even think twice about it, because it's the state of mind and the state of being that you're in. I apologize. I believe we do. We are. So we are in probably a bad storm right now, so I probably need to go ahead and wrap this up. I don't know if I have lost signal completely. Let's hope not. I did hear some rain a few moments ago, but I better go check things out. And I hope you enjoyed this live, and you can join me on the next live. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up before we completely lose power, y'all. Much eternal love, many eternal blessings.